Okay, how to read file, okay, how to create file, how to read file, and how to write data into the file. But I think we didn't run some examples that how to write to the file. We ran example how to read from file. For example, if this is the file marks2.txt, okay, so how to read from this file. So we have run the same program in last class. That you see, if we want to deal with files, we need this fstream file, okay, and we can create two type of files, one for reading and one for writing, okay. So the for the reading is actually in file, okay, and for the writing is output file o file, okay. But as I told you, if you remember, we will use f stream. Stream is for both, okay. So if we use this one, okay, uh, you can actually change this one to I stream, okay. You see I stream, so then it will become uh, mm, IO IF stream, okay. It will become only for reading purpose. And if I change this one to OF stream, then this one will be only for writing purpose. So we cannot use the same variable for reading anymore then. So the best way that use just f stream, okay, and f stream variable is used for both, for reading also, for writing also. Okay, so now this variable, this program is doing what? We have we have a file, okay. Uh, for example, we have a file. Uh, let's suppose this is our file, and this is this file text2. Its name we can give. So this text2, okay, and here are, let's suppose, some numbers like 10, 20, whatever is it. Number is not necessary. Whatever is it here, okay, and let's suppose this is our program. So when we use this fstream object, it gives us the facility to link with the file. And when we create a variable of this type, okay, and when we call the function open, then after this line, the program, let's suppose this whole program and the file has a linkage between them. It has a connection now, so we can read, okay, read from the file to the program. So the data will come from the file to the program, and we can actually write also to the file because we are using f stream. And if you use if stream, okay, if stream, that is only for reading, okay, if stream. And if you use of stream, that is only for writing, okay. So therefore I am strongly recommending that you use f stream. F stream is for both, okay. F stream is for both, sorry. Okay, so once we open the file, we can read from the file. So we can check it that if not read, meaning to say if, okay, once you see this one, once the link is established successfully, then actually it returns a true status. Okay, a true status, then this file will have a status true. Okay, so if not true, then we can check if this the file couldn't open, okay. And after that, while f read, okay, meaning to say as long as we can read, okay, then you can display the data. So you see, this is the read file, this is the variable that we have created, and the same insertion operator that we are using for cin statement. But previously when we were using this one, we were using cin. Okay, in place of this it was cin. Okay, so when we use cin is used to get input from keyboard. But when we use the fstream variable, in this case the read file variable, okay, so it has a linkage with the file. Now it will read character from the file and storing in this variable, and this is a numeric integer variable. Okay, so once a read from the file, okay, let me draw once again. So we have this file and this program. So after this line, it will create a link between these two. Okay. Now we can read and we can write. So when we run this line, okay, it reads one number from the file. Okay, well, let's suppose the 10 is read from the file and store in this integer variable, and later on we are using normal cout statement and displaying this number to the screen. Okay, so this is computer screen. Okay, for computer screen we are using cout. Okay, and for as a output, and for file as a output we are using of stream or f stream. Okay, and the same variables are the same operator, the extraction and insertion operators are used the same. Okay, so if the it depends on the object, which object you are using. If the object is the file object, then the operator is reading and writing from file, and if the object is cout and cin, then the operators are reading and writing from keyboard and to the computer screen. Okay, so just to give you a review, using this program, we can read from the file. So if you look at the file, you see the file has these numbers 30, 40. So if I run this program, okay, so if I run this one, you will see that the data has been displayed from oh, it asked, yeah, it asked from about the file name. So marks 2.txt. Okay, now you see the data is here. So last time we did this already. Now how to write to a file. Okay, the same thing and the same concept is that we have a file. Now we want to write to the file, not read from the file. Okay, how to write to a file? You see of string, but I will strongly recommend that you use just f string. You can use when you have f string, you can read and write. So you will be able to use the same variable, the same object for both purpose. But if you make it specify only of stream, then you can use this variable only for writing to the file, not from reading to the file. Okay, so I will strongly recommend just use f string. These three numbers I'm just I created to get values from the user, and one value store here, one value store here, one value store here, and after that I want to write these numbers to the file, and the file name is numbers.txt. You see this is the file. You see here is nothing. Even if you see let me show you, let me delete the file. Okay, you see no file is here anymore with these numbers.txt. What will happen if the file doesn't exist? the C++ will create it. Okay, this is a rule. If the file exists, it will make a link with that. If the file doesn't exist, then the C++ will create it. So create and link will establish, then the program can read and write to the file because we are using fstring. Okay, now this is just a simple statement to get a number from user, store in this variable. Get another number from user, store in this variable. Get another number from user and store here. So we get three numbers from user and storing in a three different variables. And after that, you see, we are using the not cout. If we use cout here, then we will be display on the screen. But we are using the output fstream object. So this one is only working with file. So it will write whatever is in this variable in the file. Okay, then second time again, and you see after that new line, the new line will be also written to the file, meaning to say next number will be written a new line, and the same for the third number. And then this is cout, this will display on computer screen, not in the file, because we are using cout. Okay, and after that, once we use the file, then close the file. So three things: open the file, use the file, and then close the file. Okay, so you see here no numbers.txt file exist in my folder. Okay, save it, and if I run this program, okay, let me check with of with this variable of string my output file. Okay, after that we just save it. Now numbers.txt not there. Run. Oh, you see now is created, you see. Yeah, so the point is that if you are using ofstream for output file specially, then it will create the file. Okay, you see, I am stopping the program and deleting the file. You see, delete the file. Okay, now if I am using ofstream, okay, and run it, see, look at here. You see numbers.txt created. Okay, and then if I write 12, 22, 23, yeah, just a second. So the point is that if you are using ofstream, it will create the file. You see that the data will be written to that. And if you are using normal fstream or input stream, it will not create the file. Okay, let's quickly check this once again. Okay, let's close this. Let's delete the number file. You see, I'm deleting. Okay, now if I'm using ofstream, okay, save this thing and then run the coding. Look at here, it will create the file. You see numbers created, nothing is here. Now if I run the code, okay, and give the numbers, something, something, and something. So if you open once again, you see these data are written there. So the point is that if you use ofstream, if the file exists, then we'll open. If the file doesn't exist, the C++ will create it. Okay, but if the file already exists and you want to read and write to it, then use fstream. Okay, and if you want to create the file, then use ofstream. Okay, so this is one way. Another way, if you want to write a text data, still can. You see, ofstream output file and the demo file.txt. You see, we are again using ofstream, so demo file.txt is not here. Okay, so when this line run, it will create the file here. Okay, and this will be just a message, and then cout, you see, directly writing to the file. You see the file, this file variable and the insertion operator, and whatever you want here, including new line, it will it will write there. For example, I love programming and development. Okay, so if I write like this, you see this file doesn't exist in this tree, but if I run it, it will create. Look at here. Oh, there is a message. I think I didn't save it, or my demo file.txt does that. Okay, wait. Something is wrong. Should not be anything wrong. Yeah, save properly. Now run. Yeah, so done. So you see the demo file.txt created here already, you see. And if you open, then the text is there. I love programming and development. So this is the way how to write to a file. Okay. So write to a file and read from a file. Okay. So sometime we want a lot of data to read from the file. Okay, and sometimes we want to read from the file and then do some calculation. For example, if we want to read this numbers.txt, you see these three numbers from here. I think I should make it simple, then we can see what should be the sum. Okay, so 4 plus 6 10, 10 plus 4 14. Okay, so save this one. Now if I this program is to read from this file, you see these numbers, and then apply some operations. So if you have this type of requirement, then you can do like this. You see ifstream only for reading purpose, we are not writing to it. So 4 variables, one, the first value will store here, second value store here, third value store here, sum will have sum of all these. So in file.open numbers.txt, it is already here. So you see in file first value, in file second value, it will read the first value, second value, third value, and will store here. After that, no need to open the file anymore, close it. Okay, and then do the calculation here because we already stored in a two variable, and then display the sum. Okay, so let's run. You see here are the numbers 4 6 and 4, and here is the sum. Okay, so the 14. So this is also a way to read from file, store in local variable, and then do apply calculations. I am sharing this coding and this concept because this will help you in your group assignment. Okay, sometimes we need too much data. You see, for example, here we just read 3 values. But if the file has a lot of data, meaning to say hundreds and thousands of numbers are there, so how to know how many times I should use this reading statement? So in that case, we can use like this. You see, input file that open the numbers.txt, and then I will use while loop. You see, while input file numbers. So you see this input file, this object actually not only read a character from the file, but it returns a state also. If it can successfully read a character, then it returns true. And if it cannot read anymore due to any reason, then it will return false. So when it reads successfully and return true, okay, like this, okay, true, then while true, the program the loop will be true, and the whatever has been read, okay, that will be displayed. You see, this one read from the file, store in this variable, and simply display. So meaning to say, this style of reading will read from the beginning of the file until the end of the file, and this is also called end of the file. Okay, EOF, end of the file. So this is another way. Sometimes we want to write more data to the file. Okay, for example, OF stream for writing purpose. This program is that if you want to store data in a file about different days of sale. So int number of days, for how many days you want to save data, and the sales data. So see out how many days do you want to have a sale. You see this, it will get a value from user and will store here. Then open the file and then use a loop and use the number of days and then get value for each day and save there. Okay, and you see output file and save into the sale file. So in this way you can write as many text to a file as you want. If I am going faster, then you can ask any question, but I was going a bit faster because we have already covered this in our last class. Any one of you who is confused and who don't know anything, I will explain again and again and again. So please don't shy. If you have any question, any confusion, okay, so please let me know. Hello.
So far,
No
so
question.
good.
So far, so good, huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Sir, I have questions.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, good.
If you create the file through the program, sir, how do you determine where it places the file, sir?
If I create a file, how I will know?
Where the program puts the file it created?
Oh, okay, okay. Note the point that if you don't give here a path, okay, then the program will create the file where the C++ file is. Okay. For example, this one, write to a file. This program is here. You see, write to file. You see, write to file. This file is here in this class examples, and inside this class examples files folder. Okay, so I am deleting this file. What's the demo? You see the demo file.txt. I am deleting this one, demo files.txt. You see this one, I am deleting here. So the file, this write to file 2, this is, you see, write to file 2, this one. This is in this folder, so it will create the txt file also in the same folder. Okay, if you don't give a path here. Okay, you see, so I didn't give any path. So if I save this one and run the coding, you see the file is created. Okay, demo file type is created. Let's see here. You see, already created. In the list here will be
Up, sir.
yeah, this one. You see, this is already created and the text is written to that. So you see where in which folder is the C++ program, in the same folder it will create. Okay, and if you want that it should create somewhere else. Okay, for example, if you want to create here, then let me give you this path. Okay, so I will give this path, but you see here the backslash is a character in C++, so we will give another backslash to skip it. Okay, double backslash to skip the purpose of a backslash. So meaning to say, you see, like backslash n, backslash t, C++ is considering this like a that type of character. So to skip that one, then we will provide another backslash. Okay, now you see it will be created here. You see no file, demo file is here. So if I run this coding, yeah, so done, the file is created. Okay, and if I see, you see this file is created here now. So it is not in that folder. So meaning to say, if you give a full path, then it will create on that path. Okay, if you don't give a full path, then it will create in the same folder where the C++ file is. It's a good question, and it is always confusion to students when they are dealing with files. Okay, so very good question. Any other question? Any confusion? Maybe there
So
will be.
you do the same thing if you want to read a file from a different folder, sir?
Okay,
You
to
give the path?
read from different folder. Okay, you see, I am reading from this one. You see the same thing. Okay, so now I will use. Let me use OF stream. Okay, using OF stream, I can read and write both. Right. So here I will copy the path. I will copy this path and paste here. And as I told you, okay, that we need to skip the backslash. We are telling the C++ to ignore the backslash. So to ignore the backslash, put another backslash. Okay, then it will ignore it. Okay, now you see I am reading from that one. I'm changing. You see. Okay, so it is a text data. You see, if I open this, it is a text data. Okay, and then I will create what is called that string variable. I will add let's say include string. String. Okay, and here I will create a string variable. With the name data. Okay, so here I will change this thing to reading. Okay, and we'll store in this variable. Okay, I'm reading from there. You see, using this and storing here, and you see we can do like this also, that using a loop. Okay, using a loop, I will read until the end of the file. For example, while, and here I will use this thing, cut from here, use here. Okay, and here I will do what? Just see out whatever we have read from the file, the data to a screen. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me reduce the space. And after that, once we done, then we will close the data and then we will say done. Okay, save the coding and run. Yeah, you see, I'm keep displaying without any spacing. You see, I love programming and development and done. You see, without any spacing, without any what is called hmm, yeah. So you see, if you want, you can add some spacing, uh, backslash t, and should we and here I should add backslash n. Yeah, let's see now. Save it and run it. Yeah, you see, I love programming and development. This time I add the backslash t, and this one I'm doing that. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good question. You see, so from where you want to read, just provide the full path. But in Windows system, we are using single slash, but for C++, to skip that one, we need to provide extra slash. Any other question? Hello guys, there will be some student who are so confused, maybe, and they are shy to ask. So I don't know how I should give courage to them that they should ask. Or there is no such student. If there is no such student, that will be amazing and great. Hello? Hello? Hello guys? Any one of you?
Yes, sir.
So it's clear.
Clear, sir.
I, I really wish that if we are face to face, and I should give you a quick test, like, okay, write a program for this, and I want to see. Yeah, but the problem is that we are not face to face, so I cannot ask like that. And if I wait, and then I think it takes time, right? There is no way to check in real time, right? I really wish to test you, but you are lucky I cannot, huh? Yeah, okay. So I hope that you learn somehow how to read from file, how to write to a file. Okay? If any confusion, you can ask me anytime. Otherwise, I am changing a different chapter today. Okay? So should I continue or you want a short break? Hello guys?
Continue, sir.
Continue. Okay, good.
Yes, continue, sir.
Uh, okay. So let's continue. In this chapter is about functions. So what is a function, how to write a function, what is the purpose, let's see and try to understand. So modular programming, you see, module means uh, a small program or small or few lines of code which can do some specific task. For example, if there are four lines of program which do summation for us, okay, and we save that coding in a separate name, then it is called module. Okay, so breaking a program up into a smaller and manageable functions, that is called modules or functions. So meaning to say, uh, a function is a piece of code which can do some specific task for us. You see, like a collection of statements to perform a task. The task may be addition, the task may be multiplication, division, the task may be sending a message, the task may be calling to a person. Okay, for example, in case of mobile, So you see, all these are the tasks, these are functions that when we type something, when we can call, we can. So all these are functionality. So the question is why we want modular programming. The answer is like this, that you see, when we are writing, you will realize in your group assignment that when you are doing a real world programming to solve some real issue, then your lines of code will become too much. You will have many lines of codes. Okay, and this will be like 100,000 and like, yeah, thousands lines of code. Okay, lines of code. So when you have that much line of code, it is really difficult that sometime if you get an error, okay, or sometime if you get unwanted result, then it is very difficult to go through all this coding and find out where is the problem and what is the problem. One thing, this is one problem that you cannot fix problem. You cannot debug the program if the program is written like this. Another problem is that if you give this coding to someone else, okay, you share with someone, actually the other peoples will be like crazy. They cannot understand what you have written. They cannot go through and cannot find and cannot understand your logic, that what this program is doing, because it is a lot of statements. Okay, many lines of code. So to solve all these problems, we need to, okay, to solve this problem, the solution is to make modules, functions. For example, to cut out one functionality here and store with some specific name here. Okay, and cut out the another functionality and store with some specific name here. So the functionality is the same coding, but you give a specific name. Now it is very manageable when we look at this. For example, if its name is sum, okay, so when we just look at it, we understand, oh, this code is doing summation. If its name is multiply, let's suppose, okay, multiply. So when we just look at its name, we understand, oh, this functionality is multiplication. So sum, multiply, divide. So as many different functionality like display. Okay, so this coding is only for display purpose. So we can easily understand what this block of code means and what this block of code is doing and what this block of code is doing. So the code is manageable now, and the code is well arranged and easy to understand. So this independent, not the words, okay, this independent block of code which have some specific functionality is called function. Independent block of code are independent statements which have some specific task is called function. Okay, and this function is now like this, that you see, if you want to use as many times, you see the number of statements will be only, for example, these 3 lines of statement. But if you want to use 1000 times, just call it. Okay, so no need to write the 3 lines 1000 times. Okay, so for example, if you don't have a function and you need this functionality 1000 times, then 3 lines 1000 times, so it means 3000 lines you will have to write. But now when we make it a function like this, okay, so we just call it, we just write one time, you see, just 3 lines, and call 1000 times or 100,000 times. So no problem. So the summary is that function is independent, manageable piece of code or block of code which have some specific functionality, and then it is easy to understand, easy to debug, okay, and easy and reusable. Okay, reusable means that it's already error free now, so use again and again and again. So how to do it? Okay, let me show you this one. Yeah, okay, before going to this, what is function call versus function definition, let me show you that what in real life, the like what is the example of function in our daily life. So you see here, for example, the juicer, okay, the fruit juicer that we are using to make a juice. So if you put any fruit here and press the button, okay, it will create a juice for us. So for example, if I put oranges, then it will give me orange juice, right? And if I put uh, apples, okay, and press the button, it will give me apple juice. And if I, you see, the juicer is the same, okay, and if I put mango, it will give me a mango juice. So there are actually three things if you have noted during this process, okay. Three things. What? Let me I think let me repeat once again. Yeah, let me repeat once again. Three things are what? You see, not the point. Uh, Juicer is the function. It needs something, meaning to say it cannot make a juice until we put something. So it needs some input. Okay. So the input is the oranges, and then it gives us some output. So you see, this is the functionality, the function, okay. The function, its function is what? Its function is to make a juice, but it needs some input, okay, input that from which the juice will be made, and once this input is used, processed, okay, it give us some output. So three things: functionality is, you can say, like the body of the function. You see it here, the functionality is built in, is made in, that it will grind the juice and will extract the juice from the fruit. Okay, it will grind the fruit and will extract the juice and will return us as a pure fresh juice. So the functionality is the function, that it needs something, okay. So that is the input, and in computer programming or in C++ programming style, it is called argument, okay. The input in C++ is called argument. Input to a function is called argument, okay, and whatever it gives us back, it is called a return type or output. The output, okay, the output is called a return type. So its return type is juice, okay. So this is the concept of function. You see, for example, if we change the input, the output changes. If we change another input, the output changes. So if we write this thing in C++, it will be like this. Okay, in C++, its style is like this. This one is the output. This one is the name of the functionality. Name. This one is what? Is the input. So you see the input is written in the brackets, parentheses. Okay, and the functionality here is in the body of the function. And you see the whole thing is enclosed in these curly brackets. So these curly brackets make it a separate piece of code or block of code. So if we count, it has, you see, few important things. Like it has a name, okay, name. Like here, it has a name juicer. It need input. In case of juicer, the input is compulsory, but in C++ case, the input is optional. If you want to give, if you don't want to give, depends on situation. I will tell you later. So this one, okay, in the bracket is input to the function, okay, or it is called argument. We will not use the word input, we will use the word argument every time. Okay, and second time, okay, another thing, this is the body of the function. What to do? So what to do? Make a juice and return a juice to us. So what return? You see, juice is returned. Any confusion? Is it is clear somehow? Hello guys.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay, maybe you have not seen C++ example yet. Maybe will be not so clear, but let's try to do. So you see, yeah, so the juicer is a function. You see the name of the function. The fruit is input or argument to the function. Okay, and pressing the button. You see, when we put the fruit in and press the button to on, or to press again to off, this is called calling function. We have the functionality, but if you don't call it, you will not get the juice. You need to call it. Okay, for example, you have a fan or you have a light, but you need to on it. Okay, so when you on, so the on means you are pressing the button to call the functionality to give me light. Okay, so that is called calling a function. And whatever it gives us, it is output, and the output in C++ we will call return type. Note the point, the words are a bit new and maybe confusing. You see, output is return type. Okay, onning and offing, meaning to say to activate the functionality, we call it calling a function. Okay, input we will call argument, and the functionality itself will have some name. Here is like a juicer, but in C++ we can give any name. Okay, so if I write a simple one like this, you see, like for example, int. Okay, if I replace the above one with real C++ function, then int sum, okay, int sum, and this one I am putting two arguments, one int a, comma, int b. You see, these are the arguments. I put 2 because some need 2, not 1. Okay, then the curly brackets. Okay, now make a juice. What I will do here, I will sum the value int sum equal to a plus b. So this is the functionality, right? And then return a juice. So the sum is what? The sum is integer and the sum is the result. So we will use a return. For this purpose, the statement return is used. A return, like you have used this sentence too much in a C++, in every C++ program return 0, but here we will use as a return. Eraser is this one. Okay, return return sum, return sum. This time we are not returning 0, we are returning sum. So you see, this will get 2 inputs, okay, and then we are processing the inputs like a juicer. We generate some output from the input, and then we return the output. Now I hope you have some correlation, some linkage between the juicer and the function. Okay, let's go ahead. Maybe sometime. Yeah, you see that every function has a return type. A return type is the output. Okay, and every function has a name. Every function has a parameter list. Okay, what they need to use it, and its body. I think I already explained to you in the previous. So these 4 things: return type, name, parameter list, body. If you want to define a function, you will have to use this. Okay, how to use it? I will show you. You see, like in this case, you see even the C++ program, you see every C++ program, if you see here, you see int main and then a parenthesis and its return, okay, and you see the body. Even this is a function. If you remember at the very beginning, I told you that we will discuss about int main later. So why? Because we didn't study functions yet. So any function, you see, it starts like this: return type, its name, its argument list. In this case, the main argument list is empty. It doesn't need anything to start. It can start and it can generate whatever is written inside this. Okay, so this is the body of this function. Okay, and if its return type is int, then it will must return an integer value. Okay, so it is working like this: int main, you see, and the bracket, this is the parameter list is empty now, and whatever you write in the body you can write, but the return type is 0 in this case. Okay, next one. I think before going in detail, let me show you quickly a quick example, right? Yeah, in these functions. Okay, let me write a simple file function dot cpp. function.cpp. Okay, can I copy the template from here? Just to copy the template. Function, yeah, here. Okay, this one I don't need anymore. Let's close it. All these things need, okay, just a template. Is it okay? Yeah. Now, you see, I want to define a function, okay, which is like the sum function. You see, like int sum, and it need two integer, int a and int b. You can give any name. A, b is not compulsory, okay? Int a and b, and then curly brackets, okay? And here you can type int sum equal to a plus b, okay? And now return sum. Return sum. So you see, it's exactly like the functions, okay? So this one is int sum, int a, int b. We can actually write this function, as I told you, that it is independent. Independent, so it means it doesn't depend on main actually. So if it is independent, you can even type before main. You see, I type before main. Okay, this is why it is independent. You can put anywhere in a program. And now you see the functionality is already there. This code can add two values for me and can return the sum. So whatever value you send, okay, it can return the result. So for example, if I have int x 1000 comma y 10,000 semicolon,
The equal on y, sir.
oh good, I was looking at why it didn't give me this. Thank you. Okay, so if I have these two values, okay, and I now I need to call the function, like you see sum, okay, I am calling the function. To call the function, you will type the name of the function, the parentheses, and if it need argument, then you will pass two values. You see, like it needs two values, so we will pass two values. For example, x comma y, and then semicolon. This is the way to call a function. So this is actually the juicer button now, the on and off button. We have the functionality. If we want to use the functionality, that is called calling a function. You see, calling a function. So we are calling now. So this value, the x, the first value, which is 1000, this will go to the first variable. The second value will go to the second argument. And you see here this will be used and will store in the sum, and the sum will return. So now the question is, it will return. So when it return, it will go where? Okay, note the point. It will return to that line from where it was called. Okay, so meaning to say this whole line will be replaced when the program run. This will be replaced by the result of the program. For example, 10,000 and 1,000, it will become 11,000. So you see the result will send to this place. So now the problem is that if the result is sent to this place, so we need to use it. Okay. So if we want to use it, we need to say like cout. Okay. Cout this result. Okay. And this result is actually what? This is the result is the output of the function. So output of the function, we need to call it sum and x comma y. Cout. Okay, x comma y. So I want to put some text. The result from function is, and then whatever result is returned, I want to display. Okay, so from here I am calling, okay, the result will return to this place, and once it is returned, the insertion operator will display it. So save, okay, and if I run it, yeah, you see the result from the function is what? You see 11,000. Okay, now once we have the coding, okay, now we can call this function as many times as we want. Okay, you see, just call it. We have the functionality, no need to write all this coding again and again. Just call it. So let's suppose 20. You can type any values also like this. It is not necessary that you will must type a variable. 100, 200, and this should be everyone a new line. Okay. New line. Let me copy this. Paste. Paste. Okay, you can pass any value, but note the point. One thing is necessary, that you can only pass exactly what we have defined here. You see, we have defined int, so you can only pass integer. You cannot pass like x as a character. No, whatever you have defined there, it means it needs only integer, so you will pass only integer. So let's suppose 2 and 3. Okay, and this one may be the same. So if I save all this coding and run once again, so you see we will get that much. You see the functionality is ready, you just call it. Okay, like it's a juicer. Once you buy, okay, the functionality is there, just use it as many times you want. So a few things to summarize. Every function has, number one, tell me what is this, help me, a name. Every function has name. This one
variable.
is optional. Okay, optional, I will just write opt. Optional parameters are argument. It is called parameter also, it is called argument also, okay? Parameters, arguments, okay, slash argument. It is optional, okay? I will show you how it is optional. Third component is what? A return type. A return type, that what it returns. So in this case, it returns integer. Fourth component is the body. Fourth is the body
Function.
of the function. Fifth thing, once you define the function, so it will not give you result until you call it, okay? So each line, this one is called calling a function. So we should call, okay, call the function, then we can get the result of that. Okay, any one of you who is confused here? Hello guys.
Uh, question, sir.
Yeah. Any
How
question?
do you use two different functions? Can you like multiply two different functions with each other, sir, with the result?
Yeah, okay. Okay, this is, I will do for you. Wait. Anyone else? Anyone else? Because your question is like this, that I will have to modify the coding, okay, and I don't want to modify yet until if someone else have questions about that. Okay, so anyone else? Any question? Don't be shy. If any confusion, you should discuss. No idea. Okay, I just want to show you one thing to clarify, and later on you remind me if I forget your question. Okay, because your question is like this, that how to use multiple functions result. For example, sum, multiplication, division, and subtraction. Am I right? You mean like that, right?
Also, how do you, if two different functions you multiply or divide or plus with each other, sir?
Oh, the functionality to multiply with each other. Okay, I will do this a bit later, because this is a bit higher level. I don't want the
Okay, sir.
students to be confused. Okay, so first I want to clarify the concept of function first. Okay, if we don't want to use this functionality, if we want every time, okay, let me comment this. Okay, let me comment this. If I want every time to write the coding here, you see, like the two variables, and then int sum equal to x plus y, and then see out the sum. Okay, see out the sum. So if I need sum, I did like this. But if I need again, and if I'm not using function, I will have to use once again. Okay, let's suppose in this case is A and B. Okay, and here will be A and B. You see, if I need again sum, then I need to write again. So you see, one time plussing, another time plussing, another time. So I need to repeat this coding again and again. Like for example, W and C, W and C. So if I don't want to use function, okay, then I will have to repeat my coding. You see, sum again, okay, and sum again, okay, and the plussing every time you will have to use the cout. If you, so for example, if you need this process 100 times, okay, because actually in real world life, in real programming, sometimes we need to repeat one task even 100 times. For example, if you go to the shopping mall, you see each customer list, when they are scanning the totaling, you see the total is what? It is nothing, it is just a sum, right? So it is totaling again and again and again and again. So how many customers, how many items there? There will be, I think, sometimes even thousands per day. So, so for such type of repeated task, it's the best way to write a function. Otherwise, if you don't write a function and you repeat this coding again and again and again, you see, let's suppose I'm just pasting, okay, like this. So you see the coding becomes crazy like this, right? See, if paste more time, so you see it just become how many? 150 lines, okay? But if you look at the coding, it's very difficult to read, okay? And if we change to the other style, okay, the same concept, but the function style, it is very easy to understand, okay? Yeah, you see, this is the function sum. So even if you see this one, you do 1000 times, it's not confusing, because it is quite clear that it displays something and calling the function. So you see sum. So we by one glance of sight, you can easily understand, oh, the function is called, and what is it? It is just a sum. So you see, this way of programming is easier to understand, manageable, okay, and easy to debug. And if you share the coding with someone else, they can easily understand. So this is the reason that why we want to use functions, because it is easy to manage the code. Okay, now your question that if you asked that if we have a sum function, and let's suppose in the same way we have multiplication function, I will give the name multiply. So two variables multiply. So here int product equal to A multiply B, and return the product. Okay, so in the same way I have another one, divide. Okay, so this one I will change to divide 1 and 2, and here I should check that if the B is greater than 0, because if there is division by 0, the program will become crazy. Okay, so if the B is greater than 0, then you do what? Int divide equal to a divided by b. Okay, and then return the div. It is not recognizing, so it should be inside this. Okay, you see we have three functions, one for sum, one for multiplication, one for divide. So here we have, let's suppose, one variable x with the name with the value 5, another one y 10. Okay, now here I can use the result of each function. For example, int s is, let's suppose, the sum. Int s equal to sum. Okay, and I'm calling the function and passing the x and y is arrow. Okay, the result will be stored here for me in the s. In the same way, I am calling the multiply function. Multiply and passing the value x and y. Okay, and again int d for divide, let's suppose, and I'm calling the function divide. So I'm passing x and y. Okay, so you see, I have now the result of each functionality here in a separate variable. So now if you want to multiply, you set something like that, multiplication. I don't know what you mean exactly, but you can say, you see, s multiply m multiply d. So you see, the result of each function is in these variables. You can multiply further, you can divide, you can do anything that you want to do. So should I type something? The result of all functions equal to this. Okay, so if I run it, okay, so we can see the result. Oh, there is one warning. Console reaches to end of non-void function. Wait, some issue. Okay, so this one has a problem. So it should be int. I want to declare this variable outside, okay? Because the return should not be here. The return should be here. Because the program says that this function, the divide, returns something, but when it reaches, it doesn't return anything. Okay, so let's run again. Maybe you didn't get, okay? Wow, you see, the result of all the functions is a negative number. I think why, maybe the value is too big, which is not which cannot be stored in a integer variable. Okay, or maybe we can see, let me see what are the output. The result, I think I should change the the product of product of S and M and what is another one? D is equal to S time M time D. Okay, now let's see the result. Then maybe we can guess something. Yeah, you see. I think these two A and B is the problem here. Okay, if I remove the if, okay, just remove the if, then it will become okay, but we can fix it later. Yeah, you see now is okay, and the result is proper result. Okay, so this was somehow answer to your question, and maybe some student, it is very difficult for some student. Let's go to the common and easy thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, good. So I think we should start again. Let's from my previous experience, I have realized that the function concept is a bit difficult for some students. So if any one of you is confused and don't understand, please don't be shy and ask me. Even if you say, I don't understand anything, totally I am glad, then I will revise. But please let me know what is the situation. Is okay, clear to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is clear? Oh my God. You are so good students, really. Okay, so let's start again. Okay, so function return type is like this. We are here now. It can, you see, like this one, it can return something. Uh, so the return type is before the name of the function, like this one, int main. So here the name is main. In our case, the name was sum, multiply, divide. You can give any name that you want. Okay. So if a function doesn't return any value, then it will be like this, void. Void means nothing. Okay. Means it doesn't return anything. Because if you see, print heading is the name of the function, it doesn't have any argument, and it simply display this message. So you see it doesn't return anything. So this is also a function. So meaning to say, it is possible that a function don't return anything and a function don't have argument. Okay, so to call the message, this function, just type print heading. Okay, print heading, and you see if it don't have any argument, So you will not send any argument here. So the calling is following the style here. I hope it is clear. Okay, so to call a function, you see, just write like this: read heading and the name. So name of the function and then the parentheses. If it needs arguments, so pass the arguments in the bracket parentheses. If no argument, then just leave it empty. But you will must type. Okay, the parentheses are compulsory. So when called, program execute the body of the function, and after the function terminates, execution resumes in the calling function point. Meaning to say, you see, let's suppose the function is here, okay? The function is, let's suppose, here. All this is the coding of function, let's suppose. So you call from here, okay? So the compiler will jump there, will go there, will run every line, everything. So when finished, at the end of the line, the compiler will come back to the same point, okay? To the same point, and we'll go to the line after this call. So after this is anything, it will start running again. If nothing, then we'll stop. But if there is some coding after this, then that will execute now. So meaning to say, when we call a function, then the control jump there, and when the execution finish, then controls come back. Okay, so is this example, it's like this, you see, int main display a message. Display a message is a function, and it is this one. It doesn't have any return type, it doesn't have any argument, so it called from here. So you see the control go there, display the message, and at the end of the curly brackets in the function, it come back just after the calling line, okay? And after that is anything, it will execute again. Okay, so calling a function is what? So it like main call any number of function. So in a case of main, actually main function, when we run the program, so main function is called automatically. Okay, and compiler already know from where to start, where to return something. But in general way, so if you want to call a function, you will use the name of the function and then the parentheses, and if the function has some parameters, then you will send the number of parameters. So if the parameters are 2, okay, so for example, if let's suppose sum, okay, sum, and the parameters are, let's suppose, 2, I'm not typing the int, okay, but int will be there. So if parameters are 2, when you are calling sum, you cannot call like this, that okay, you just pass one argument like this, because it will go to the first one, the second one, so none, so computer will give you error message. So meaning to say, if the arguments are 2, you will pass 2 arguments. One thing, note the point, the number of argument must be the same. Second thing, the type of argument. The type of argument means if it is int here, then you will must send int values here also. Okay, it is not possible that it is int in the definition and in the calling you are sending character or some other value. If there is any such value, for example, like float, int, this double, which is which the compiler will use automatic conversion, so at that time you will not get any error. And if there is automatic conversion not possible, then you will get error message. Another thing, for example, if here is 2 arguments and you send 3, okay, like 5, 6, okay, 7. If you send like this, still compiler will give you error. It is not accepting. So the number of arguments and type of arguments is very, very necessary. We will take care of it. Okay, another thing, function prototype. Okay, function prototype means that we introduce the function to the compiler. Okay, let me show you what does it mean. So you see, it is like this. I am deleting this multiply and division to make it simple. Okay, to make it simple. Okay, like this. We have a function with the name sum, and I have two variable. Okay, and I am sending. I am calling the function. Okay, and the result I am assigning to s, and let's suppose I am displaying cout s, simply like this. So it is okay, no problem if I call like this, but not the point. You see, I'm cutting this coding, okay, and cutting from here and putting after int main. You see, after int main. So did you realize that when I did like this, I don't think so that it will work now. It should not work, but let's check. It doesn't give me any error message. The point is that when compiler comes, okay, let me save it. When the compiler comes through the program, actually it comes line by line like this. So when compiler comes to this line and see the word sum, then compiler don't know what is sum, because before this compiler didn't find anything about sum. Previously the code was above, so compiler first saw the function and then came to the calling sum. But now the compiler didn't see anything about the function, and we call it and we are displaying. Okay, and after that down here is the definition. So it will not work. Let me save it and let me run it. Let's see. Yeah, you see, now it give me an error. During compile time it didn't give error, I don't know why. But you see here, int x sum was not declared in this code. So now the compiler don't know what is sum. Okay, so in such a case, not the point. If the coding, the definition is later and the calling is earlier, in such a case we need to introduce the function to the compiler, and for introducing we need to use the function prototype. You see, this is called function prototype. Int sum and its arguments just like this. Okay, you see, the function name, its return type, its arguments, and semicolon. So what does this mean for compiler? It means that we are telling the compiler that we will use a function whose name will be sum, and it will have two arguments, okay, two arguments, and its return type will be int. So you see, all these information we told the compiler already, that sum is a function. Okay, it has two arguments, it has a return type with int. So when the compiler comes here, so no problem, but when you run, compiler already know what is it, So now compiler will look for definition. So definition will be here. Okay. So definition, this part is called, you see, this part is called definition. Definition means the actual coding. Okay. Actual coding of the function. Okay. And this one is called calling of the function. Okay. This one is called function prototype. Okay. This one is now called function prototype. Or some people say it's function header. Function header. Function prototype or function header. So its purpose is only to tell the compiler that we will use a function with this. So when we write the coding, the definition after main, then we must provide function prototype. Okay, so now save it, and if we run it, then you see no problem. You see the result is here. Okay, so meaning to say, if you want to use the coding, the actual definition after main, then you will provide this. Okay, and if I command this one, you see, if I command this and run, okay, I will get an error message. You see, then sum is not declared. And if I cut this coding and put before main, then no issue. Okay, then no need of function header. Okay, if I run, you see the result is there, no problem. So we only need function header if we use the function actual coding after int main. So in such a case, the function has three components, three important components. Number one, okay, is function prototype. Number two is function definition. And number three is calling of function. Okay, these three parts are necessary there. So I hope you understand what function prototype means. Okay, so you see where to notify the compiler about the function before a call to a function. Okay, so we just notify before calling. So place function definition before calling function definition. Okay, use the function prototype and function declaration. You see some people call function prototype, function declaration, function heading like this. You see a header or prototype just before the main. Okay, so like this. You see here void first is a function, void second is a function. You see it is, these two are before main. Okay, and after that is a main program. This inside the main, the first is called, the second is called, but you see the actual coding will be after main and will be in the same. You see this is the coding of first, the first and the coding of second. So if you are using the actual coding after main, then you will use prototype. So place prototype near top of the program. Program must include either prototype or full function definition before any call. Note the point. If you call a function, the compiler need to know the function. So there is two ways to introduce the function to compiler. One way to put the full definition, you see, the full definition before calling. Another way to put the prototype before calling and put the definition after int main. And when using a prototype, you can place function definition in any order. So once you put the prototype at the top, You can put anywhere the coding of the function, no problem. And in any order, if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 functions, order doesn't matter. Okay, so this is called function prototype. So sending data to a function, we already talk about that can pass values into a function when we are calling the function. Like for example, power function, we are sending the a and b to the power. So values passed to a function are called arguments. We already studied about that. Variable in the function that holds the value passed as an argument are called parameters. Okay, this is just a bit difference. That let's suppose we have a function sum. Okay, so here is int x and int y. Okay, so this is, let's suppose, the actual definition, and we are calling from here the sum. Okay, and we are sending b and a, let's suppose. So you see, values passed to the function, passed, meaning to say this one. These are called arguments. Some people, you see, the wordings are sometimes a bit confusing. So the values that we send to the function, like b and a, that are called arguments. And the variables in a function that holds the value passed as an argument, meaning to say, you see, the b will hold by x and the a will be held by y. So these two are called parameters. Yeah, so just a bit different words. Otherwise you can say to both arguments also. Okay, but to specify the differentiate between these two, so these two are arguments, these two are parameters. Okay, a function with parameters, you see, like this one, why display value. So it has one numeric value, so just display this, and you see return type is 0. Okay, so the integer variable num is a parameter. Yeah, you see this one is a parameter, and it's accept any integer passed to the function. So you see this one, void display value int. So this is the prototype for the function now, and this one is the calling of the function. You see a 5 value, which is an integer, is sent when the function is called, so it will go to this one. And the actual definition is after main. So you see void display int num, you see the value will come to the num, and then we are displaying the num. Hello guys, I will be so happy if I get some input from you, then I will understand which part I should explain. Hello, any confusion, any question?
Can you explain the previous page again, sir?
This one or this one?
After this one.
This one?
Yes, sir.
This one, huh? Okay, so you see, it is a function defined here, display a value. Okay, this one is prototype, meaning to say the function is introduced to the compiler before using. Prototype or header, it is called prototype or header. Okay, it is actually just like the include iostream. So you see, the include iostream, actually we including something, or like this one, this is also like we are introducing something to the compiler. Okay, so this is also we are introducing this new function to the compiler, that whenever you see this word, so don't worry, it is a function, and I will provide the coding of this. So then when we call the function, then compiler is looking for the actual code. So when compiler is looking for the actual code, then the compiler will get the coding after main here. So you see it is here. So if you are confused here, I will quickly. So now if you go to this, its function name is display value. Okay, so it doesn't have any return type, so its return type will be void. Its name is display value. Okay, and it need one argument which is int, and you can give any name, let's suppose x. Okay, this is just any name. Even in during the prototype, if you don't want to give the x, still okay, just type int. Okay, so if you type int, it means it accepts one argument. Okay, maybe let's suppose here I type first. Okay, so this part is called prototype. Type or header of the function. Okay, then after main I will define the function. The name must be the same. You cannot use different name. If you use different name, compiler will give you error message. So int, here you cannot leave the so int, let's suppose a. You can even use the same variable name like x. So because here is totally different variable. So this is the body of the function, and here is simply displayed cout. The value is the value that you sent is this one. You just display the a. Okay, in his case, in the slide, he used here num. Okay, if you use here num, so you can use here num, no problem. Okay, now from, you see, this is one component. As I told you, function has three different parts. Header, here will be the calling of function. Okay, which is second part, or you can say third part also. Okay, third part may be calling, and here is the second part, definition of function. Okay, prototype of function, and here will be the calling, okay, of function. Okay, so in calling, what we do, we are sending a value. So you can get the value from user, you can directly call, you can simply type like cout if you want to make it so simple. Okay, no, so it doesn't have any return type, you see, any return type. So I will not use cout statement. I will simply call the function. So calling a function is how the function name, then the parentheses. If it needs value, then pass the value. Let's suppose I'm passing 3 because one integer value. Okay, so save it, run it. You see, the value that you send is 3. Okay, pass so 300 3000. Okay, save it, run it. So the value that you entered is 3000. You see, the value is actually copying to this num, and we are displaying the num. So that value which we call, that value copies here. This is called call by value also. Okay, call by value, meaning to say the value comes here. You can do like this also, like for example, int x equal to 20, let's suppose, semicolon, and here you send the x. Okay, now the x value will be copied here. So save it and run it. You see, now the value that you send is 20. So is it okay? The- Is it
Yes, sir.
enough explanation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So let's proceed. Parameters are working like this. You see, the value comes to this, and then you are displaying the value. Okay,
Can
a
I ask
parameter.
questions, sir?
Yeah. Okay, good.
Can you also use function prototype for function with return values, sir?
Oh, with return value. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, good. Sure. Should I use the same? The same? Okay. Let me use another one. Okay. Let's suppose int our character. This time I should use different one. Okay. Then you will not be confused that every time int. Okay. So character. Uh, let's suppose this also. Let's suppose display, and it needs character. Okay, and that one is, let's suppose, C. Okay, and semicolon. A function whose name is display, it accept one character and it return one character. Okay, now you see this function, when you want to define its actual coding, just copy the header and remove the semicolon and provide the body of the function. Okay, so now I will say what? Return the character that you get. I return the character C. So now here when I use the function, so I can, you see, it is returning a value. So when it is returning, you see, the value C will be returned from to the place from where we are calling the function. So like display is the function name, and if I call with a character, let's suppose R, okay, capital R, not the point, it is it accepting character. So this is why I enclose in a single quote. Okay, so you will follow this the data type, whatever data type it accept, you will use the same one. So you see, it returns the value, the R will be returned to this place again. So if it is returning a value, not the point, the return result, you need to use it. So using, you can use in different style. You can display directly like this, you see. You can display directly. You can store this one to another variable, like for example character result equal to, and display the function, you see. Now call the function, and this time send z. Okay, and now display the result, you see, in two different ways. Result semicolon, but here I think I should provide some backslash n and backslash n two times to be clear. So you can use like this. So you see, the return value, one time we are displaying directly, one time we are storing in this result variable and then display. Okay, so save it and run it. You see, the value that you send is, oh, I am using the previous one also. I think I should not use that one anymore. Let's comment this one, okay? To be very clear. Comment this one. You see the coding is there, but I am not calling. So if you don't call, so no problem. This is why it is called independent, okay? So, and the other function I am calling 2 times. So run again. You see R is directly displayed, you see, R. The second time Z, you see, I am sending this one, I store in the result and display here. Okay, is it clear, or I should add some text?
Yes, I understand, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good. Yes, very good question. Anyone else who is confused?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
I'm a bit confused about void.
Okay.
It said that void does not return value, right?
Yeah.
But what if it does not return value? Then why we use it? I'm a bit confused about that.
Okay. Okay. Let me modify this one to be simple. Okay. I'm deleting this one that we could focus only on that coding which is related to your one. Okay. Your point is that a function with void return type, it doesn't return a value. So if you say that if it doesn't return value, so no, why we are writing? Okay, you are good question. Okay, don't write it, remove it. But if you remove it, yeah, the computer you see is not accepting. Otherwise, I think at some points, okay, let me. It was some here. Yeah, you see, compiler is confused that its return type will be what? It will be integer, float, double. So if we want to tell the compiler that it doesn't have any return type, just to show like none, okay, then we need to type void. And here also void. So your question that why we are typing, so if we you see, if we don't type, if we just delete it, if we don't type, what does it mean? Actually it is not clear. Okay, maybe mistakenly I forgot to type, let's suppose int. Okay, so meaning to say it is not very clear what is the return type. So to be very clear and remove all the confusion, just say void, that it means it doesn't return any value. And therefore, when this value x, okay, the x comes here, okay, to this num. So you see here is no return statement. The value is just used inside the function, and that's all.